So obviously you mentioned about going for that CDL job and not getting it because you clearly wasn't too bothered about it. So what kind of changed from wanting to be a rugby player to kind of studying IT to then kind of going into marketing at Kaplan?
So you are right, the CDL job I wasn't overly ambitious to get for some reason. I think I thought natural talent, I don't know what, but playing champ manager over the weekend was slightly more important at the time. And then I guess there was an opportunity at Shop Direct, which is now very.com, and it was just it was a 3-month temporary contract. I sort of applied for it. I mean, that was going to be an example of a really bad interview I did. So it was almost back-to-back bad interviews, but I somehow managed. I think there was literally no other candidates, which is why I got offered the job. Let's be honest. So I got very lucky, and then all of a sudden I was in this sort of almost a high-performance analytics environment. I very much felt out of my depth. I didn't really know what I was there, but I was there basically to run this report that needed to be run at 7:30 in the morning. And then I spent the rest of the day learning some technical skills and trying to sort of prove that I needed to be there. Fortunately, I was able to sort of do enough to sort of get a full-time employee contract, which I was really thrilled about. And I always felt like I was still a bit not too sure, because the dream, as you sort of said, was sort of rugby, IT, but I wasn't even entirely sure what department I was working in, but it was the marketing analytics function. I was just there sort of typing occasionally, running queries against a database. I was always using a lot of the database resources, but I don't particularly think my output was that great. And I applied for a few jobs in IT actually after that. I didn't quite have, because I'd sort of done this hybrid degree, I wasn't overly technical, but I wanted to be more technical. So it was a bit of a case of, I then had this remit of like, I want a job closer to my house, so I could either run or cycle to work. Kaplan used a similar sort of tech stack to what I was using at Shop Direct. And I sort of just went for the role. And it was a little bit like the CDL interview in terms of, I literally just read Kaplan's Wikipedia page.
Yeah, like you didn't know anything about it.
I knew very little. I didn't know what ACCA was, despite one of my housemates having studied it. I didn't know what SEMA was. And I think, to be fair, again, I got lucky. They'd been looking for a junior analyst for about 6 months, hadn't found anyone. I turned up and I think I was adequate. So they were like, here you go. And then since then, I've just sort of progressed through there, just doing bits, initially trying to get more technical, and then trying to improve my softer skills. And as you sort of keep developing, getting better stakeholder management, you find everything sort of improve as you go forward.